was a rainy day in December. I was 24 weeks pregnant with my third boy. Yes, I totally cried the day they told me it was another boy. That's fault. But I went to my doctor for a regular checkup, and I was sitting on the table in the doctor's office, and I heard the whispering outside the door. And then I saw the look on my doctor's face when she walked into the room. And she said, "Your test result came back as, we cannot rule out cancer." What does this mean? Cannot rule out? What? Right now? This is a joke. So after more tests and many doctor's visits later, it was determined that it was okay to wait and get treated until after I delivered the baby. So 5 long months of waiting ensued. I turned to my family, I turned to my friends, and I turned to God. 5 months later, a baby boy Flynn was born, and I began the discovery process of how bad it really was. At each step of the way, I got the worst news. First surgery, invasive cancer, second surgery, positive margin, and then months of chemo and radiation. Over 2 years later, I'm cancer-free. I don't really like to say it out loud, not because I don't believe it, I mostly do, but because I don't like to talk about it, and I don't really want it to define me. So when John asked me to give this testimony, I wasn't so sure. I've been a Christian my whole life. I was the girl in high school who wanted to go to youth group and sign myself up for church camp without my parents' permission. Like many people, though, my relationship with Christ was stronger and weaker during different parts of my life. And certainly the last 3 years were a defining part of my faith journey. It's difficult to put into words, but here are my 3 big takeaways. First, live a God-centered life. I do this by trying to take the focus off me and my personal needs. The first chapter of James is something I often come back to. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. This side of heaven, we are guaranteed to have struggles, but these struggles can be used for our good and for the good of God's kingdom if we yield to what the Lord wants us to do. I have always controlled, or certainly tried to control everything, but I couldn't control this. I had to relinquish control and let God be my unwavering rock. By faith, I believe that God knows exactly what he's doing in my life. I continually try to practice shifting my eyes off my circumstances and onto the Lord. My dear friend calls this gaining God confidence. The second thing I did was surrounding myself with people of strong faith. In San Francisco, it might be even more popular to say you're a Republican than to say you're a Christian. but I don't care. I'm outward about my faith and proud of my relationship with Christ. I've been blessed by my Christian community in so many ways, but 3 key groups really kept me alive and fresh in God's glory. First, New Door Ventures. Many of you have heard a few weeks ago about New Door Ventures. It's a nonprofit that Calvary is partnered with. It's not a Christian organization, but the board members are all Christians. We don't proselytize to the youth, but we pray for the youth, and we pray to make good decisions about how to manage the youth, and we pray for God's wisdom to give to the youth. The board is filled with strong, mature Christians who inspire me so much by their faith and personal testimonies. The second is a women's Bible study. About 3 years ago, I started a Bible study with about 15 women, many of whom are here today. And these are some of my dearest friends and family. But being part of each other's faith journeys made me closer to them and closer to God as we intimately journeyed together. And the last group is what I call the Random Acts of Kindness crowd. This is a group of many friends and family and random people who really surprised me by their constant thoughtfulness, graciousness, and generosity. And I learned so much how to treat people by watching how others treated me during this time. Without the fellowship of my Bible study, my experience at New Door, the Random Acts of Kindness, and the many other friends in my amazing family, it would have been an even tougher journey. I was so blessed to be surrounded by a huge community of angels, and forever grateful. And so first, God-centered life. Second, surrounding myself with a strong community. And lastly, I tried to have more fun, to take things less seriously, to be calm and compassionate, and to live with grace and warmth. I one time heard someone say, if you as a Christian get flustered under pressure or frustrated when things don't go your way, how are you different from anyone else? One of my dear friends asked me, what would your life have been like without cancer? I had to really think about it. Obviously, it would have been very different, but sincerely I can say that it probably would be mostly different in a not-so-good way. Looking it in the eye, staring it down made me realize the fragility of life. It's not a foregone conclusion that you get to grow old. It made me full of gratitude and made me appreciate what's important. Made me hug my husband a little tighter, my kids a little tighter too. Thanks. There's got my thumbs up. Most importantly, through this journey, I put my relationship with God in the center of it all and found peace and joy through the Holy Spirit. All of this is not to say I don't worry it's going to come back, and I don't take many precautions around exercise, diet, and research. I honestly sometimes still can't believe this is my story. But mostly, I truly believe my life is better. My relationship with God is certainly stronger. My relationship with my family and friends is definitely deeper, and I'm really having a lot more fun. Just like this guy. So thank you to so many who are here and are still a really integral part of this faith journey of mine, and I'm really honored to share this personal testimony with you.